Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Ryan Bland. Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to be talking today about a few things. We will have question and answer at the end, possibly, if there is time. But we're going to go through it today, so I'd like to start. The doorway to change is building a relationship with love at the center. This is how I inspire change in my practice. So we're going to start with today's topics and what we're going to be talking about. Thoughts, traumas, and toxins plague us in the form of stress. Our rate of recovery needs to exceed our level of stress in order to prevent chronic diseases and injuries. We must bring balance into all of our lives. At a time like this, it is the most important thing we can do, creating more harmony within ourselves, our communities, and our country. Utilizing applied kinesiology muscle testing, as well as functional medicine, I uncover the cause of injury or disease rather than chasing after symptoms. From food allergies to forceful impacts, we will be discussing the nature of inflammation, the immune system, and how we can be proactive in taking care of our amazing human bodies so we can do all the amazing things we love and take care of all the beautiful people in our lives. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, how I got to this point. Why am I here today? I am a second-generation chiropractor. My name is Dr. Ryan Bland. My father is Dr. Ron Bland. He is a chiropractor as well. And I have many uncles who are chiropractors and many cousins. It is part of my life. I grew up in a practice. I grew up with getting adjusted and eating healthy and hearing about different patients making full recoveries and hearing how awesome my dad was. And when you're a kid, you don't think your parents are that cool, but when I got older, I started to realize how special both of my parents were. My father is an amazing applied kinesiology practitioner, and he has done a lot of research and has done a lot of work in applied kinesiology, helping people for almost 50 years at this point. We're all getting a little old. So applied kinesiology, a little bit more of a background of it, is it started in 1964 by Dr. George Goodhart, who was a chiropractor as well as a acupuncturist. And he realized that there's a connection, and he bridged the gap of chiropractic and Eastern and Western medicine. He combined 5,000 years of this information, that Chinese traditional medicine and herbs and acupuncture and the meridian systems, into chiropractic. Also in my clinic, I do functional medicine. So functional medicine is it's new, it's very modern. It's a systems-based, biology-based approach that is focusing on identifying and addressing root causes of disease. Each symptom or differential diagnosis may be one of many that is contributing to an individual's illness. So in functional medicine, we're looking at lab work, we're correlating with our exam and applied kinesiology findings to really narrow what's going on, narrow down why is the patient having the symptoms, what is the cause of it, what is the cause of the illness, why are we ill? The human body is supposed to be a self-healing, self-regulating organism. So what causes it to go off of balance? So we're going to talk about the 3 T's. It's one of my favorite things. Thoughts, traumas, and toxins. Wow, that sounds pretty intense. We all have these things, huh? So how are we going to deal with it? Let's talk about each. So first, let's talk about the exact programming of the body. Every day after work, when I change my clothes, 1 million skin cells are programmed to die off. And 95% of the dust in your home is actually tiny little pieces of you, skin cells. The stomach lining, programmed exactly to shed and renew 3 to 4 days. Red blood cells, wow, this is amazing. Every 3 to 4 months, 90 to 120 days roughly, your body goes through apoptosis, which is programmed red blood cell death, and you get all new red blood cells. This is very important that this happens correctly. And anything that would be causing the body to be imbalanced could be causing any of our physiological or anatomical structures to become non-desirable. So let's pick one. Let's talk about physical trauma. Trauma, one of the first T's. Everyone can relate with this. We all have had a slip and fall and have gotten black and blues and bruises. Some of us have had sports injuries for overuse injuries. So 2 kinds of trauma, physical trauma. Macro trauma. That's a big thing, like a car accident, an event. We call that an event. Then we have micro traumas, tiny little traumas from overuse injuries. So these overuse injuries that we experience happen every day, from writing with the right hand or handedness to looking over your left shoulder, getting the car to go in reverse. So there's a lot of trauma. So let's talk about the cascade of what actually goes on in a trauma, big or small. So first, there's the event, the physical event. Then there's some sort of acute tissue injury, no matter how big or how small. After the injury, pain and inflammation. After pain and inflammation, you're guaranteed poor movement. It just didn't get better. And after poor movement perpetuates, you experience pain and dysfunction. Pain and dysfunction will then lead to less movement. Less movement is going to lead to a poor quality of tissue. Poor quality of tissue is going to cause chronic dysfunction. And once you have chronic dysfunction in a muscle, it is to be noted that there is a muscle and organ relationship. In applied kinesiology, each muscle is related to specific organs. So, for example, your pecsternal, that's related to your stomach. So if you have a pec injury, chronic or acute, it is going to possibly have an inverse effect on your digestion to your stomach. And most people would think that would be crazy, but a lot of times when you look into chronic injury, you can trace it back to toxicity of an organ, regardless of what happened first. Everything is connected in the body. So we have 3 T's. We just talked about one for a little bit. So that was the physical realm, trauma. And now let's talk about thoughts. Well, you are what you think about every single day. 95% of our brains are unconscious, 5% are conscious. So it is important that we realize that everything we say, including self-talk, especially self-talk, if we say something negative consciously, it's going to train most of our brain, which is the other half is 95%. It's going to train this unconscious piece of ourselves. So it's really important to work on some meditation, work on some mindfulness, some deep breathing. Everything is connected. And sometimes it's hard to control these things, especially in a day and age where we're functioning in. But it's really important to start to realize the power of the mind. The mind is powerful, and it's one of those things that's all easier said than done, but everything is really up here. A lot of it is really just in our mind, and we need to keep doing things to strengthen our mind. We need to support our brain chemistry and support our body chemistry so our mind can work, because it's your brain and your spinal cord are the command center. It's the main computer that's controlling everything in your body. So we got to take good care of it. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is a little bit more complicated, and that's the 3rd T, which is toxins. Toxins, the air we breathe, water we drink, all these things. Some are out of our control. The food we are eating, that's within our control. So there's a lot that we can do. And there's a lot that says for the rate of recovery for all of these things. You know, we need to have a balance with our thoughts, traumas, and toxins, and we need to be proactive in dealing with that. So why do some people get better faster than others? You know, why did this person take this and this worked and it didn't work for me? Well, it primarily works on genetics and your environmental and toxic load. What is the time you have spent in a toxic situation? What is the time you've spent in an environment that is not good for you or causing you? What is that time? And what have you inherited? So we can talk about the microbiome because it has a lot to do with the interactions and toxins in our external world. So what is a microbiome? Microbiome is comprised of about 10 times more cells than you have. We have about 30 trillion cells, and the microbiome is the genetic material of bacteria, fungus, virus, protozoa inside the body. It weighs about 5 pounds in healthy individuals, and people who are not so healthy could be up to 15 pounds of just junk and bugs. Kind of scary. Microbiome, is it essential? Is it even important? Well, yeah, it's essential for human development. Most of the microbiome out there, viruses, bacteria, and protozoa, they're our friends. They're not pathogenic. Some of them are intruders, but most of them are not in a healthy body. Most chronic diseases, from rheumatoid arthritis and inflammatory diseases, have recently been traced back to an imbalance in the microbiome. And it even can touch based on how our thoughts are functioning. And we're going to get into different chemical pathways as we move on, but serotonin, which is a chemical that is made in your gut, 95% of it actually is made in your gut. And it is very important because that's what makes you happy. So if you have dysbiosis, leaky gut, or any of these buzzwords, it's safe to say that you might be dealing with some depression or anxiety. Or if you're just dealing with some depression or anxiety and haven't realized that you've been having digestive issues, maybe you should tune in, because a healthy gut is not going to cause you those issues. Also, our bones and our ability to recover from injuries. The gut and microbiome help the reuptake of calcium as well as hormones so we can recover from actual injury. And when we're injured, it's very important to get adjusted, and it's one of the first things that people work on as we work on their physical nature. But it's really important to not leave in the dark the thoughts as well as what's going on in terms of the toxic load. There needs to be a balance of all three when patients are under my care, for them to see the quickest possible recovery possible. So what is a healthy microbiome? Well, it's one that's diverse. I've seen many athletes who aren't struggling with any symptoms. They just want to get better faster because, as you know, athletes break their bodies down, and people who work out, they break their bodies down. That's their job. And studies have shown that these improvements happen once the microbiome becomes more diverse and balances out. Now, a couple of things for athletes out there to tie into the microbiome and recovery, and people out there, because it's summertime, we want to kayak. We're in the Pacific Northwest here. There's stand-up paddleboarding and swimming and hiking. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful all around the year here. So let's talk about a few things that we can look at. So one of the foods that can be holding some of us back, and this isn't for everybody, but I've noticed this is a big thing, is solanines. So solanines are known as nightshades. So that's white potato, eggplant, ashwagandha, goji berries, peppers, tobacco, etc. These are causing a backup of the thyroid. So solanines can only be metabolized by the thyroid around 12 micrograms every week. So every week you can only metabolize that much. An average diet has about 60 micrograms of solanines. And what people don't realize is that the leaves of tomatoes and potatoes are actually poisonous. They're acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, which mimic nerve gas. So it's very easy for your body to accumulate solanines and cause all kinds of hormonal issues, all kinds of inflammation. I've had many patients remove solanines with an elimination diet, and their recoveries were just so much, it was miraculous how quick they've gotten better. It was so much faster than if I would have just treated them with applied kinesiology and gave them no supplements or no nutrition advice. So it's really important to maybe limit these things, or see what happens if you don't eat them at all for a couple of weeks. Something good might happen, or nothing might happen is probably the worst thing that'll happen. But for the most case, if you're struggling with inflammation or some serious gut issues, solanine should be cut. Try it out. See how it works. Let me know. Another thing that we can talk about is lectins. Oh boy, lectins. Well, as we know, this has been spoke about a lot. It's in a lot of stuff. Pretty much all food. So lectins are in mostly plant foods. Nuts, beans, seeds, traditionally carrying the most lectin content. If we soak, sprout, pressure cook nuts, beans, and seeds, we have the ability to break down an enzyme inhibitor that's found in a lot of plant foods. And an enzyme inhibitor means that the food has something that stops your gut from breaking it down. And when it doesn't, your body doesn't break it down, it could be not so great and cause a lot of inflammation. So if you like nuts, beans, and seeds and you're eating them on a regular basis or at all, I recommend eating them correctly. Beans need to be soaked 12 to 24 hours, then pressure cooked. And then you need, it's good to sprout seeds and nuts, and just continue with that. If anyone has any questions, leave me a question for that. All right. So next I want to talk about a couple of pathways. First is tyrosine. So tyrosine is found in almonds, lentils, and your body changes how things work through different chemical cascades. So tyrosine in a healthy individual, the healthy microbiome, will be converted to P-tyramine, then dopamine, then norepinephrine, then dopamine to epinephrine, then to norepinephrine. So dopamine is what makes you feel motivated, and epinephrine and norepinephrine give you that fight or flight response. If your microbiome is not balanced, there's a good chance that this chemical pathway isn't at its fullest capacity. And this explains a lot of fatigue with people, brain fog, and if somebody was completely devoid of tyrosine, they would be face down on the desk asleep instead of giving a nice talk. We need pathways like this so our bodies can respond to external stimuli and protect ourselves. If this pathway gets completely shut off, like I said, it could be our life. It could be our life. We won't be able to defend ourselves. We would have no motivation. It's very interesting how chemical pathway and our gut holds so much importance. The next is a very important pathway. It's a little simpler. It's indole-3 lactic acid, or what others call ILA. So you get this from sprouts. You can get this from a lot of sprouted foods. ILA gets converted to indole propionic acid, which is one of the body's strongest antioxidants. The purpose of an antioxidant is to kill the bad guys, which are called free radicals in the body, which cause the inflammation, as well as possibly becoming cancerous inside the body. If the free radicals aren't killed, they can turn to cancer. It's fact. Anyone with a microbiome that is compromised will halt the normal and natural responses of this chemical pathway, and the body will not be able to adapt to kill off some of the bad guys. And that will plague our immune system and cause terrible amounts of inflammation in the body. And another one that I know everyone knows out there, I saved the best for last, is tryptophan. Tryptophan. Plant-based food is chia seeds you can get this from. Or, as we all know, the famous food of good old Thanksgiving is good old turkey. It gets converted in our gut. Tryptophan is converted in our gut to serotonin. And this is our happy chemical. And then it's converted to melatonin for sleep. So again, if these pathways are interrupted by a microbiome with the wrong amounts of organisms, it can wreak havoc on your musculoskeletal health as well as the organs inside of your body. And for those of you out there taking melatonin, be careful. You take too much, it could potentially change the course of your neurotransmitters and hormones within your body. It's very easy to go too far. So I recommend those who are taking melatonin, seek a professional and make sure you're cycling it if you're not. Something about our microbiome that few know is it's something that we inherit. So a lot of people are like, why me? What did I do? Well, sometimes you could just blame your parents. That's a lot easier. But we do inherit most of our cells from our parents, and a good portion of our DNA is actually viruses. So sometimes we inherit not such amazing traits. So antibiotics, medication, acute stress, poor diet, lack of exercise, these are what's going to compromise your microbiome and turn this perpetual cycle of leaky gut, allergies, and inflammation. Leaky gut, allergies, inflammation, just over and over again. And there's a lot of people saying, well, what do I do? I'm not sure what to do. I've tried everything. And I completely understand the journey of health and wellness sometimes can be extremely daunting, confusing, and difficult. But, no matter what foods you eat, you need to make sure you're making the right choices. And let's talk about food allergies and food sensitivities. Well, an allergy is like I get stung by a bee or eat a peanut and my throat closes up and they take me to the hospital, EpiPen. Well, what's a sensitivity? And how does that work? Well, food sensitivity could mean that you have overall inflammation from eating something. It could not even be identified within maybe 4 days, 5 days. And a lot of people say, when I eat something, I feel it right away. Well, I'm sure there are things that we eat and my patients eat that they feel it right away, but there are other things that the patients, including myself, I'm a patient, that there just might not be aware of, and that they just need to constantly be more conscious of it. But talking about being a patient really quick, I'm a patient. I get blood tests quarterly, functional lab tests quarterly, as well as work with, some amazing applied kinesiology doctors. My father, Dr. Ronald Bland, as well as Dr. Noah Leibowitz. I seek a lot of information from other people, and I do not treat myself. I think treating yourself is very, very dangerous and most of the time counterproductive. I do believe in patient autonomy. Everyone should be educated. The word doctor means teacher. So all doctors should be teaching you something, giving you the information of whatever it is, though you need to get the pros, the cons, and they should be giving you the information to decide yourself, and it should be up to the patient. If anyone's telling you have to do something or not, well, you should run. In terms of full recovery, things can be reversed. Patients and people and humans, we have the ability to turn things around. I've seen miraculous things. You can train your system for the good, or you can train your system for the worst. I'm just here to give honest information and help facilitate your process how you want to meet it. I am here out of a place of love, meeting, greeting, and seating all of my patients, meeting them where they're at and trying to elevate them so that they can enjoy more of their life. And in my clinic, we're addressing these imbalances and giving the power to the patient. Giving the power to the patient. That's ultimately what this is about. I became a doctor so I can help people, empower them to enjoy their lives. That's what's most rewarding for me. So, to reiterate, proactive care is absolute key. So what are some things you can do at home to help move along the process before you come in to see me? Well, I always say food, air, and water. You need to be trying your best to get the food in, but you should make sure that with a real practitioner, a healthcare practitioner, that you're getting the right food. Food is really powerful, and there really should be no guessing games. But it's safe to say we all need more fruits and vegetables. I haven't met one patient who ate too many fruits and vegetables. Very rare. Next is air. Well, what does air mean? Well, air. Go outside, breathe some air, move a little bit. You know, you should do some cardiovascular activity. About 60 minutes a week is 60 minutes a week, 60 minutes a day, 7 days a week. You don't need a day off from walking. You should always do some sort of movement. It's very important. If you need a day of rest, take a day of rest. If you need to build up to 60 minutes, hey, that's a great goal. But you should walk with purpose and intention and try and go for about 60 minutes and build up a little bit of sweat. Sweating is very good. It helps toxins leave the body. And the other thing is journaling, or just maybe taking a piece of paper and writing it down and slap it on your fridge every once in a while if you're really not into it. But about every quarter, I write some goals that I have for each season. And since I've been doing it for about a year or so, it makes a really big difference. Just seeing it on the refrigerator. And sometimes that's all it takes. But like I was telling you about the thoughts, it really controls a lot of what goes on in the gut, and the gut is controlling a lot of what's going on upstairs. So the vagus nerve is a nerve that's responsible for transmitting this information. It goes from the brain to the heart to the stomach. It's called the wandering nerve. It goes everywhere and does everything. So everything really, really, really is connected. People just don't say that as a cool Instagram quote. So a good question that I ask, and I've spoken to a lot of people about, is why should I see a professional? Especially when you can go on WebMD and figure out what's wrong with you, and you can go on social media and find a bunch of food lists to heal your leaky gut or your IBS. Well, it's really crazy out there in social media land. A lot of people are very dogmatic, and they have their agendas and biases, and it's their way or no way. And a lot of interpersonal relationships are very toxic. There's tons of food lists and information, and you're watching other people having their health experience without being in their shoes or really knowing what they're actually doing. You know, what people show on social media versus what actually goes on in real life behind closed doors, we should know is very, very different. And sometimes we need a reminder, so I'm reminding everyone right now. It's very different. A lot of times also people say, oh, you know, I can get a supplement online, or I can go do this. Well, most of the time, most supplements, if it's too cheap, it's too good to be true. Most supplements happen to be counterfeit, expired, and/or repackaged if you're buying them on Amazon or eBay. Some are stolen and sold on the black market. Again, never buy from Amazon or eBay supplements. Go to a healthcare practitioner. People like myself who are literate in these things, they're sourcing medical grade supplementation. So I'm getting my supplements directly from the source, because as a doctor, one of my first rules, other than trying to teach everybody everything I know that I've ever learned in the past 33 years, is making sure that I'm sourcing them correct things and not doing any harm to their bodies. If it's a popular enough supplement, there's somebody out there in China counterfeiting it, selling it online. Some of the times, the pills don't even have the ingredients claimed on the label. And I want people out there to realize criminals are not moral. So realize these people who are pulling a fast one on people and destroying their health, they're not moral people. And firsthand, I have seen people try and take supplements and on their own merit and it not end very good. A lot of supplements have microbes from not being made in a clean practice, and also coming with toxic metals and heavy metals. I have extensive communication with the FDA, Border Control, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They are very concerned about what's going on back and forth with supplements in our modern day society, especially with everything that's going on now. There's people selling supplements that are claiming to cure COVID. There are people selling fake vaccines and fake tests, and their will is not a good will. And unfortunately, the FDA FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, does not regulate supplements. Why? I can't really find a really good answer. The people who I've spoken to have never really given me a really good answer, and my research is inconclusive. However, it's important that you find these practitioners out there and see what you need before you go out there and just buy a bunch of supplements. It can be very dangerous. And next I want to talk about moving out of our current perception and really just tying everything in here. And then I'll answer everyone's questions. We need to move out of this constant model of an overindulgence and stress. Fear and stress are the real cancer. Fear and stress is a real virus, one of the real viruses. We must move out of this model of fear and stress. This purposeful duality thinking, wrong versus right, left versus right. We need to break free of these mental chains and start to make realizations on the entire spectrum of reality, not just taking sides anymore. It's really important that we start shifting in these modern day times. And so, to reiterate and to be honest, health comes from the inside out, something that we have to create. And to obtain health is a lifelong journey of work. We owe it to our bodies, which are the vessels that we move through life. I have had my health issues in my life, and I'm so thankful for my body, and I hope as few people as possible have the kind of health scares I've experienced and I've seen in my practice. I've seen people looking at the end of their life, wishing that they would have made different decisions. And I love everybody around me, and I don't need a reason to tell people out there that I love them, but I love everyone out there, and I want better for everybody. The gift that I was given is the ability to see potential and help express and facilitate health and wellness in people's lives. I promise no quick fixes. There's nothing that's going to be quick. But I've grown up inside this little wellness world, and I've been in many little wellness bubbles. I've seen miracles happen. And they happen every day. Maybe not in my clinic, but it's happening. They're happening somewhere in the world. Good things are happening. Believe that. So I ask you, why not you? Why not now? The universe may delay you from where you're going, but it will never deny you to your final location if you put the time and work in to what is going on in your body. All right, so I've wrapped up the talk I've prepared and all the notes. Now let's check the couple of comments we have, and let's get chatting. So I see one of my all-stars is out there, Cheryl Green. Hey Cheryl, how you doing? Really good to see that you are on right now. We have Shannon Moon. Miss Shannon, you miss going to the chiropractor? Well, I remain open. I have stayed open during this pandemic and continue to stay open as long as it's legal. I practice all WHO and CDC guidelines. Why don't you reach out? I'd love to just chat with you. Shoot me a message. Or add me on Instagram. I've got a great community of people on Instagram. We are sharing all kinds of health-related topics as well as getting adjusted. So it's at Dr. Ryan Bland, DrRyanBland. Or you could give the office a call. I'd love to just chat with you. I love talking over the phone. You could shoot me an email. The office number, 253-302-3131. Or email me at drryanbland@gmail.com, or visit my website. It's drryanbland.com. Just search me. You can find me easy. I love to chat. Patty Walker, loving the topic. Patty, we love you back. Thank you for listening and being a part of this. I couldn't do it without everyone out here. Oh, Shannon, dial in. A lot of this reminds me of psychology class as well as mindfulness. Mind, body, soul. Mind, body, soul, that's all we have. So what do I do to impress people? I try and work on my mind, body, and soul, so I raise myself to a higher vibration so that I can be a better person and a better person to be around. I talk to people every day who, Charlene Howard. Charlene, how you doing? This is great. I love it, Charlene. I talk to people every day who wish you'd find a way and open up a store in Puyallup. I hope I said that right. I'm from New York. I've only lived here for about a year. Well, I'm in Fircrest. I think I'm maybe about 10-15 minutes from Puyallup, so, we could link up. I also offer telehealth services to people all over the world. So I will love to reach out to you, and I'd love it if you would reach out to me, whatever comes first. Can't wait to get talking to you. I'm here for you. And I also drop ship supplements, so there's no reason to open up a store or take up any more real estate. I have a beautiful practice. You're more than welcome to come in. For everyone out there listening, I offer free 15-minute phone consultations and free 15-minute in-office consultations. So if you're not sure, I'll hop on the phone, or you can come in and hang out in this office with me. I love friends, trying to make as many as I can. Patty Walker, what about SIBO? Oh, great question. What about SIBO? Next time, come with a little bit more of a exact question. I'm going to try and address it anyhow. SIBO, for those who don't know what SIBO is, it's not a football player. That's Tebow. SIBO, we like to have fun. It's okay to have fun here. We like to laugh. So SIBO stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which is directly related and tied into all of the things and applies to everything I said about the microbiome. I do see tons of patients with SIBO. It is pretty difficult to deal with, and I definitely feel the pain, anyone who's been through that. But there's hope. I've seen a lot of patients make pretty solid recoveries using elimination diets and applied kinesiology as well as functional medicine. It just, like I said, depends on how long it's been going on. What is your rate of exposure? How much is there? Kristen, Erica, yes, Kristen. Will there be a playback? Yes, there will be a playback. I will probably be posting this on my page. And if you can't find it, shoot me a a message. I would love to make sure that you have a copy of this information. And if you ever want to chat, I'm going to leave my information at the end of the video so you can chat with me. Juju, hey baby, oh my God. This is my Aunt Judian over here. She's dialed in. What about osteoarthritis? Can anything slow down degenerative bone disorder? Great question. Judian? Absolutely, Juju. Absolutely, you can do things to slow down some disorders. However, all matter has a limitation. So there's only so much certain things can heal after they've been very, very chronic. I have treated patients with specific supplements that are for their chemistry, as well as prescribed specific movement-related activities that are safe for people, even who are severely compromised by osteoarthritis and degenerative discs. And there's a lot of things we could do. And also to tie in the healthy nutrition. Like I said, if your microbiome is balanced, it is responsible for the reuptake of calcium, which is how your bones can grow and become stronger. These are very important things. Elizabeth Ashbrook. Hi, Elizabeth. Live stream will be viewable after the live stream. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be viewable for those of you out there, and please share it. I'm not a political person. I don't believe that I'm an activist, but I realized a couple of days ago these are my politics. This is my activism. My goal is to treat and help as many children, adults, and families reach their optimum potential through helping them facilitate their everyday life. There's no quick fix. I'm here to help create lifelong changes, lifelong vitality. These are all amazing things. Okay, Jamie Black, thank you for sharing your knowledge. Jamie, thank you for being here. I love you. Juliet Jones, appreciate you so much, Dr. B. Thank you for sharing all of your information. I love watching your Instagram stories. They're so great. Oh my God, Juliet. Really means a lot. Yeah, I do this out of the love of my heart, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And look who we have here. It's my mom. Love you, Mom. Miss you. Miss you so much. A lot. Carol Mosher. Real reminders to all of us. I feel encouraged. Well, I'm here to help encourage you. I'm encouraging myself every day. Sometimes we got to give ourselves a little tough love, and sometimes we got to give ourselves the soft love. So I'm here for you however you need, Carol. Please reach out. We're going to reach out at some point. Cheryl Green. Our bodies can heal from anything if they give them what they need. I didn't know I could like this. I'm going to like everybody's post at some point, or love it, whatever I can do. Yes. Applied kinesiology is utilizing muscle testing, and functional medicine is honing in on what's going on. And your body will tell you what you need. We have a beautiful amount of technology. We have a beautiful amount of research that has gone into applied kinesiology, and both things I've seen help get better in combinations and separately. And if you really do the right thing by your body will do the right thing by you. So we've got my man Glenn. Glenn, oh, thank you very much, Cheryl, for inviting me. Okay, cool. Cheryl, thank you for inviting people. It's really awesome. I do have a lot of patients out there that have had great experiences and they want to share it with others, and that is probably the nicest thing that somebody could do for me, is help me help more people. That's all I want to do is create a happier, more peaceful, better planet. Jenny Pomerantz McCarry. Okay, do you treat autoimmune conditions? Yes, I had mentioned that the microbiome is, when it's imbalanced, is responsible for a lot of autoimmune conditions. Not only do I treat them, I specialize in it. And I would love to help you out, or anyone that you have who is dealing with this, as autoimmune conditions can be passed on from your parents and can be passed on to your children. It's very important to realize that your microbiome at a very young age is when it's most important to make sure it's developing correctly. So yeah, I specialize in pediatrics. I do see a ton of children. And I actually have published research in the arena of ADHD. I have patients who've had ADHD, and I've done published research, and they've made full recoveries with proper applied kinesiology care and supplementation. There's a lot you can do. You know, it's never too late. It's never too late, and it's never too early. You know, you could never be too healthy. I've never met somebody who's like, I feel too good, let me stop the program here, I feel too good. People get better, and you see them less, and that's good, but those who remain very, very healthy throughout their lives are those who are touching down and getting care and making sure nothing bad happens. It's about being proactive. Ah, and Ray, he was invited by Cheryl as well. Okay, cool. Well, Cheryl, you have been very, very social today. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for helping me get some people to check out this event. I think I've answered all of the questions. If you're out there and you want to ask a question, please shoot me a question. I'm just looking through them really quick to make sure I've addressed everybody. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Well, last chance for questions before I wrap up. Okay, so in summary, we spoke about a lot of stuff today. And I want to kind of end where I started. So today we talked about thoughts, traumas, and toxins. We talked about our rates of recovery versus our rate of stress. If you're not getting better as fast as you want, oh, we got a question. Okay, real quick. What kind of ALA, alpha lipoic acid, do you recommend? Well, great question. Alpha lipoic acid is great for many things. I use a couple of supplements in my office. It just depends what the patient's needs are for it. It depends on many things. But if you'd like to know which one is right for you, I think you should come in for an appointment. I usually don't give health advice online because it wouldn't do you justice. I don't know if you actually need alpha lipoic acid. Do you have an alpha lipoic acid deficiency? I'm not sure. If you were my patient, I would give you. I would have to know. The reason why I'm not able to answer is I just know that you're Jamie Black on Facebook. I would need to know all about your health history, your family's health history, why you want to take alpha lipoic acid. I would need to maybe run some labs and do some exam findings and exam tests to determine what is a safe dosage, what is a safe brand. I would possibly do some muscle testing to determine which of the best brands that I keep in my office is the one for you. So there's a lot of stuff that would go in it. So you have, I wish you lived closer. Oh, I wish you lived closer too. But I do telehealth appointments from people from, you name it, California, Oregon, to Ireland, to Israel, to the UK. I see people all over the world. So if you want to talk about your health, I can definitely help you, help facilitate this issue that you're having. And I understand you're going through some serious health issues. So I am here for you. I'm definitely here for you. I'm able to help you from a distance. And you're also, no matter how far you live, you're welcome to my clinic. I have people fly. Before this whole thing, I was having people fly from all over across the country to come see me. So the door is always open. I'm definitely going to reach out to you at some point this week, Miss Jamie Black. So let's, if no one has any more questions, we're about at the end of our time here. I'd like to wrap up and let everyone know where you can find me. So to wrap up, the doorway to change is building a relationship with love at the center. This is how I inspire change. I absolutely love helping people. I am so excited to get to meet new people, and I'm so excited to continue the care with my existing patients. And even if I'm not the doctor for you, reach out. I will find you one that will help you. I'm not for everybody, and more doctors should say that. I could not be the doctor for you, but I love people and I want people to get the right help, and I'm really motivated, and I'm very specialized in what I do, and I know a lot of people in the health and wellness industry, and I could possibly find you the help that you want. It's all about patient autonomy. I want to really hammer that in. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you meet your goals. I want you to succeed. So, where you can find me, very easy. My name is Dr. Ryan Bland, Dr.Ryan.Bland. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Ryan Bland, DrRyanBland. Visit me on my website at drryanbland.com. And you could call me at my office. I love talking on the phone. I don't know what happened to people talking on the phone. Everybody has different phone etiquette, but I love talking on the phone and connecting with people. Somebody just asked to wrap this in, what do you do in a 15-minute appointment? Well, Robert, it depends what kind of appointment it is. Most of my visits are extended visits, and they're usually 45 minutes. An initial patient visit is usually an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the patient. I leave the time open so we can really get into things, and I spend the time with my patients. 15-minute appointment and consultation. I have a free 15-minute phone consultation or in-office consultation. What do? Well, I do what you want to do. We talk about where you are at and where you want to go, and if I can help you. For other 15-minute appointments, patients who are existing practice members who are getting structural adjustments where I utilize applied kinesiology to help deal with any musculoskeletal imbalances, I spend about 15-20 minutes addressing these issues as these patients are on care plans to help the structure and function of their body. So once again, please reach out. My name is Dr. Ryan Bland. Give me a call. Let's chat on the phone. Or it's 253-302-3131. You can go on my website. It's drryanbland.com, drryanbland.com. You can schedule a free 15-minute appointment, and we could chat. You can also book an initial exam, and we can get you in. And start your health and wellness process as soon as possible. Why wait, right? So if you're out there and you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to be here with Marlene's Market. It is such a beautiful place. I'm so thankful. I have so much gratitude for, health food stores that are owned privately, like Marlene's, and they're dedicated to giving their customers the highest quality foods, supplements, etc. It's just a great place. A lot of my patients are going to Marlene's and loving it there, and it's just a great environment. So I just wanted to thank Marlene's from the bottom of my heart. This was a long time coming. I'm very sorry that this had to be over the computer. Hopefully you guys will ask me back, and I'll see you guys in person at a talk really soon. Things will get better. We all need to band together and be positive. So to everybody out there that watched, know that Dr. Bland loves you. Have a beautiful week. I'm here from you. Give me a call, 253-302-3131, and visit my website at drryanbland.com and book an appointment if you'd like. I love you. Have a great day.